You ever notice a symbol that's just everywhere, hiding in plain sight? It guards the entrances to our most important buildings. It pops up in blockbuster movies, and it holds secrets buried in ancient texts. Well, today, we are unlocking the mystery of one of the biggest, the twin pillars. What exactly are they guarding, and why do they seem to follow us wherever we go?
I mean, think about it. Since the dawn of civilization, this powerful image has shown up again and again. Two pillars, standing like sentinels at a gateway. It just feels important, right? But what are they protecting? What do they really represent? To find the answer, we have to go way, way back.
Let's put ourselves in the ancient world for a second. If you were a Greek sailor, the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar, were literally the end of the map, the edge of the known world. They even had a warning, nothing further beyond. So to pass through them, that was a huge deal. You were leaving everything familiar behind and sailing into a realm of pure mystery, maybe even enlightenment, or, the lost city of Atlantis. This whole idea of a gateway is absolutely crucial.
But the most influential gateway in all of Western symbolism, the one that really sets the stage, it doesn't come from a myth. It comes straight out of the Bible. We're talking about the entrance to King Solomon's temple, a story that became the absolute cornerstone for groups like the Freemasons.
Okay, so right at the entrance to this legendary temple stood two enormous bronze pillars. The one on the left was named Boaz, which translates to "in it is strength." And the one on the right, that was Jachin, which means "he shall establish." So you've got strength and establishment. Keep those two words in your head. They're important.
And this isn't guesswork. The Book of 1 Kings gives us the blueprint. The master builder himself, a guy named Hiram Abiff, cast these two immense pillars. And they were massive. We're talking over 30 feet tall, decorated with these incredibly ornate capitals covered in pomegranates and lily work. Every single detail, especially if you ask a Freemason, is just packed with meaning.
And get this, the symbolism was literally baked right into their construction. They were made of bronze or brass, which is a mix of copper, what alchemists would call a sun metal, and tin or zinc, which are considered moon metals. So from their very atoms, they represent a perfect harmony of opposites, a balance of sun and moon. They were also hollow, which is a whole other layer. It's like a place to symbolically store the baggage of your past before you step through that gateway into a new, enlightened space.
So we've got strength and establishment, sun and moon. But honestly, that is just scratching the surface. Now we're going to dive into the deeper, hidden meanings, and you'll see how this builds into this incredible symphony of duality.
And here is where that duality really comes into focus. On the one hand, you have Jachin, the right pillar. It represents the active, masculine force. It's connected to mercy, to the sun, to the divine part of humanity. And then you have its perfect opposite, Boaz, the left pillar. This one is the passive, feminine force, connected to severity, the moon, and the earthly side of man. Two sides of the same coin. And this idea just expands out to, everything. The pillars represent the balance point between good and bad. In alchemy, they're sulfur and salt. In astrology, they symbolize the zodiac signs, Cancer and Capricorn, which mark the gates of birth and death, the very extremes of our physical lives. They even stand for the summer and winter solstices. They are literally a gateway between all the opposing forces in the entire universe. And this isn't just some niche Masonic idea. Just look at the tarot. The High Priestess card, one of the most powerful in the deck, shows her sitting perfectly between two pillars, and yep, they're marked with a B and a J for Boaz and Jachin. She is the guardian of the veil, the keeper of secrets, positioned right in that perfect point of balance between these two great forces. So this brings us to the whole point of the initiation, the real journey. The goal isn't to pick one pillar over the other, not good over evil or masculine over feminine. The real secret, the path to wisdom, is to pass between them. And in doing that, you yourself become the third pillar, the pillar of harmony, of wisdom, of equilibrium. You're now ready to enter a new state of being, a new realm of understanding.
Okay, so once you see this pattern, this gateway of duality that leads to transformation, you will not be able to unsee it. You start to see it absolutely everywhere, cleverly disguised all over our modern world.
Let's start with the first Harry Potter book. Take a look at the original cover art. What do you see? You see Harry walking through an archway, literally passing between two pillars as he enters the magical world for the first time. This is no accident, folks, especially when you remember the book's original title in the UK was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
That's a direct nod to the ultimate goal of alchemy, enlightenment. This cover is a perfect visual of his initiation.
Or how about the music world? In his super symbolic music video for the song Power, where is Kanye West? He's positioned directly between two absolutely colossal pillars. He becomes that central point, embodying the tension, the struggle, and ultimately, the incredible power that comes from mastering these opposing forces within himself.
Now, here's a really weird one. Guarding the entrance to, of all places, the IRS building in Maryland are two enormous pillars. One is black, the other is white, a crystal clear signal of Masonic duality. And if that's not enough, they're topped with two hands pointing up to the sky, an artwork known as the Hands of Mystery. And as if that wasn't strange enough, wait till you hear what's between them. There's a dark pyramid, inscribed with the words, "We the People." The whole piece is officially called Vox Populi, which is Latin for the voice of the people. The symbolism here is just, wow. It's profound, it's complex, and for a lot of people, deeply mysterious. The big question is, why here? Okay, so we've seen mystery, we've seen opposition, we've seen balance, but maybe, just maybe, to truly understand these pillars, we have to look past all the conflict. What if their ultimate secret isn't about duality at all, but something else entirely? For the final, deepest layer of meaning, we have to put aside the esoteric texts and go back to the Bible. But we're going to a pretty unexpected place, the Book of Ruth. This is where we find the true, original character of Boaz, and it changes everything.
See, in the Book of Ruth, Boaz isn't just a symbol of strength. He's a real person known as a kinsman redeemer. Now, he had the legal right to just acquire a relative's property, but he chooses to redeem it and marry Ruth, not because he has to, but out of pure love and compassion. So in this deeper interpretation, Jachin, he shall establish, represents the fundamental principle of unity, of being itself. And Boaz, he represents the redeeming, unifying power of love.
So ultimately, it's not just about opposition. It's about what some people call a dual unity. The two pillars, together, stand for the great spiritual principles that are the foundation of all life, unity and love. They form what St. Paul called the bond of perfectness. They aren't two forces fighting each other. They're the two forces that, when combined, establish the entire universe.
So what at first looks like a symbol of opposition is actually, at its deepest level, a symbol of the two principles that create perfect harmony. It's a pattern hidden in plain sight, a key to a much deeper understanding of our world. And now that you know the pattern, now that you have the key, the only question left is, where are you going to see it next?